So we know that this will be also very informative and exciting. My experience with both Captain Flaherty and Al Hagan goes back several years. Al Hagan is former president of the UFOA. He ignored me for many years when I was over on Columbia Street, and finally called me in and grilled me. And I will always appreciate that because he asked me hard questions, and I had to be on my feet. And he showed me how much he cared about the department and the members, because he asked me all the right questions. And he wasn't a pain in the ass. He was a hard driving, hard questions, funny as hell, and I've loved him ever since that meeting. I don't think I ever told him that. Liam Flaherty avoided me for 6 years, right? 6 years? And then finally gave up, and he's become a good friend, and he's a strong supporter of Friends of Firefighters, and we're really lucky to know him. So they're going to speak. The subject is eyeball engineering.
Well, maybe. We have to talk to the crew.
They're going to decide what they want, and I'm going to sit down with my glass of water.
And I always said, Al Hagan, he's got like over 40 years, but I always say he's got like 100 years on the job.
I look like I'm 100. I don't have 100. When Nancy called me to speak, I blew her off pretty much. And then Al Benjamin put the muscle on it. So
I didn't know that.
No one could say no to Benjamin and bastard. So here I am. But I didn't know what the crowd was going to be like, what to talk about. Nancy called me up. She said, "We're making a flyer. You got to tell me something." Liam and I hadn't spoken. So although I was the president of UFOA, those were the shittiest years I spent in the fire department. I mean, for real, they were. I did 35 years in Harlem and the South Bronx, and those were the greatest years I spent. And before I went on the after 9/11, like, you know, the trap door on the bottom of the job opened and everybody fell out. And the great Galvino, Thomas Galvin, called me up and said, you know, you got to come to the Rock and teach. So I did a lot of teaching at the Rock. So I said to Nancy, I'll do a drill. Because, oh, she said to me, "Don't talk about pensions or any of that shit."
Yeah. Well,
So I said, so all right, that negates the union stuff, right? I mean, so, but Liam and I talked about it, and we said, whatever you guys want us to talk about, we'll talk about it, you know? So do you want that? Eyeball engineering essentially is this: construction, building construction, and every fireman has taken many classes in building construction. They're all bullshit. Because building construction is a degree. So you sit for a drill for an hour, you get a degree, or a master's degree, or a PhD in building construction. Firemen don't need to know that. What we need to know is, you come into a place like this that's on fire, you say to yourself, is this place going to fall down on me and the guys, or can we operate here for a little while? I mean, that's really the extent of what we want to know. Not for students, but I mean, you know, for staying alive kind of stuff. So if you want, we can do that, or if you want, we'll talk about something else.
Guys got answer?
Yeah, sounds good.
You want to talk about that a little? And feel free, here's the other thing. When I learned a lot teaching at the Rock, you know, especially if you've never taught. Elevator, my specialty. The land of projects. So anyway, you learn a lot. And one thing you learn is that if the class is not at least a little interactive, it pretty much sucks. So if you feel tired, or you get tired of hearing me, or no one ever gets tired of hearing my name, me, just get up and go get coffee, take a leak, you know, whatever. But it's good to have interactive time, right? So for this class, I kind of need to know what you did before you came in the job. So I'm going to start in the back with that fellow. Yeah, you look, well, I don't know who's the youngest guy. There's a lot of folks like that.
I was in sanitation for 2 years. Sanitation, department sanitation.
Oh,
2 years.
promotion. How much time do you have at Firehouse?
Not even a year.
Oh,
Just got out.
including today?
Yeah.
Pretty good. That was my standard line at Firehouse. I just wanted to get in there early. How are you, my bro?
I'm Steve Desir. I'm probing. I was a licensed practical nurse before I got on the job.
good skill for today's fire department, for real. Lou, how about you?
At 14 years, I was a Army captain in 10 Mountain Division, and I'm a pharmacist. I did that while I was on the job, and that's what I do on the side. I work for CBS. So,
Wow, a drug dealer.
Legal.
Legal drug dealer.
so guys, Viagra, and next time I'll bring that out.
We got to talk later.
I didn't really have a career before this.
You had a job?
I had a job, but most recently before this, I was renting cars for Enterprise for about 2.5 years, and then 14 and a half years now. My first career was only these last 3.5, and people tell me I kind of forced them out. I was 39 before I got there. Anymore, so that's really up there.
Me?
Yeah, tell
Sales.
No, tell him, come on, you had a career in the
Come on, you
fire
got so much
department.
talent, man. Come on, Paul.
You gotta reveal yourself.
In the career in the fire department, 23 years, most of it in hazmat special operations. Finished up, I teach nationally, internationally on hazmat and terrorism.
I'm glad I'm not teaching hazmat, right?
Nobody would be here.
No, when I first started teaching a lot,
Yeah.
it was the chief of the Rock, Frank Montagna.
Yeah.
And he asked me to go to, I went all over the country teaching with him. And one of the places I went was who here's like a half a buff or a full buff? Nobody. Come on, you are. You? They're pointing at each other. But there's a thing, FDIC in Indianapolis, and it's Fire Department Instructors Conference, the classes and everything. So when I went there, I took, at the time I was teaching leadership to lieutenants and captains. And I didn't know much about leadership. In fact, I had just gotten a shitload of trouble. They found beer in my firehouse. Yes, beer in the firehouse. I was shocked.
No, I can't believe
I was
that.
shocked. Oh. But, so anyway, I go out there, and there was a chief in this job, Bob Burns, who really did the curriculum. He just needed people to deliver it who didn't have the reputation of being straight. But so when I went out there, I could take a lot of classes, right? And I took classes in teaching because I had never taught. I was, let me reveal myself. I went to college when I was 16. I got out when I was 20, and I promptly took my political science degree and left it and became a steam fitter like my dad. I was steam fitting for about 3.5 years. I did it in college too, and the guy knocked on the door. I lived out in Bayside in Queens. I still live in that neighborhood. And this chief knocked on the door and he said, I'm looking for Alexander Hagan. I said, oh, that's me, chief. I knew he was a chief. I'm the first Hagan in the fire department now. Nobody can get any other fucking job. So, my brothers are fine and my 2 sons are fine. So he says, this was maybe like the end of September of 1973. So he said, you want to go in the fire department? You got to be Thursday or Friday, I forget, at the Red Cross building on Amsterdam Avenue. So I said, Chief, I mean, that's like it was either the next day or the day, I think it was the next day. I said, what about like giving my job 2 weeks notice? You required references and all that crap? So he was a nasty man, this chief. So he said, I don't give an F if you come or not. I go, all right. I go back in the house. We lived in a little house. My dad said, who was that? I said, it was a guy from the fire department who I would have to characterize as a rude moron. What do you want? I said, he told me I could go on the fire department tomorrow. So he said, what are you going to do? I said, I don't think I'm going to take that job, Dad. I was working for my father's friend, Frank O'Connor, and we were making really like boatloads of money. That year, when I paid my income tax, I made about 40 grand. Now, 1/4 of that money was on the fire department. right? Because I came on September 29th, so October, November, December. 1/4 of the money was the fire department. However, the starting salary back then was $11,500. So, I mean, I was making money, you know. But my dad said, and you know, I mean, I wouldn't have been a fitter without him, whatever. He said, do me a favor, take the job for 6 months. And if you don't like it, quit. It's not a 20-year hitch, it's a 20-year pension. And my father was like the shrewd guy from Amsterdam Avenue. And about 7, 8 months, 10 months later, he said to me, where are you working? I said, Dad, I'm a 36 engine up in Harlem. What are you talking about? He said, I thought you were going to quit that job. And I mean, like all of us, we find the fire department, we love it, right? So, but I did work construction. So really what I'm looking for is anyone who ever worked construction. You know, how about you?
I did a little construction.
Ah, that's what I'm looking for. Now, but reveal yourself. I don't know you don't.
Okay, my name is Pete Calashoni. I used to do a lot of plumbing and a little carpentry and a little general around repairs, you know, household repairs.
So you know about construction. Did you work for somebody or have a business?
No, I work for somebody.
Okay, that's good. We'll return to you in a little while. How about you, Nick Split?
Jim McNamara, I work at 26 Truck, and prior to this, my family, we were in the food business. We had 2 restaurants down in the village.
Jimmy's a great fireman and a dedicated guy, loves the fire department, loves the union, good man. JD?
John Donahue, chief out the 15th Division. Before I got on the job, I was scraping asbestos.
Construction
Basically.
or destruction?
Yes.
Jimmy?
Before I got on the job, Key Food Warehouse, loading the trucks.
And then he was a squad 1 guy, got laid off. He was in the probie class before me, even though he looks younger than me. And he was laid off for the same 14 months.
Spent a year in Houston, a little over a year in Houston Fire Department, where I am.
When you came back to squad 1, did you tell those guys, listen, in Houston, this is how we did it?
Well, the guys in Houston have trouble finding the rear ends to wipe it, let's put it that way.
Okay.
I told you, I always knew we were good, but until I worked there, and Houston's a big city, until I worked there, I had no clue how good we really are. Every one of you guys. You guys have no idea how good you are.
United States Air Force. Air Force? Nice. And where did you work? Are you still working?
No, I'm not.
How much time?
20.
20 years. Tony, how about you?
I worked in a bank.
In a bank?
I didn't handle money.
Nancy, you need money.
Yeah,
That's a
I
bank.
know.
Let me handle the money. I took the fireman's test in 1961. And my starting salary was $5,100 a year.
Wow. From 51 to 73, more than double.
And I got on the job in '63, and I retired in 2005. About 42 years.
Nice.
Actually, I did 42 years, 3 months, and 13 days.
How about you, my brother?
My name is Firefighter Jordan Sullivan, and before this, I was an investigator for the city.
CIG, like that guy? Were you the guy that found a fucking beer on the floor? Look for that guy.
Yeah, he's still tailing.
And how much time do you have in the fire?
Just a little bit under 3 years.
Okay.
A good 3 years. A good 3 years.
Good 3 years, solid. How much time does it take to become first grade now?
I'm going to say 5 years.
Amazing. And how long is probation? Where's the probation? How long is probation?
Year and a half, 18 months.
6 months when I came on. I'm lucky. I wouldn't have made it. If it was a day longer, they would have got rid of me. Al, now I know they all know you, but
No, I don't know.
okay.
Al Benjamin, all I remember is the fire department. I don't remember anything else. But I actually worked for the fire department as a civilian
You did?
before I came on. I didn't tell you that. Yeah. So
Are you the guy that found the beer in my
Ryan is with us here.
And for you guys in the back, he was the senior man in Rescue 1, and one of my sons was there, and Al had him firmly under his wing, and
Good man.
yeah, straightened him out very nicely. And Liam?
Yeah, I was side by side with you, although I came on a lot after. I was a carpenter, 608, worked in the trades before I came on. And I took the enormous cut and pay too, to
Oh, yeah.
to the fire department. Not saying I would do it for free, but it was the best move I ever made in my life.
Yeah, well, the money comes later. Take heart, though. The money comes later. But it's good to study.
Well, there's a saying, do what you